After reading this comic, no one can convince me Daleks don't look cool. Fire and Brimstone was released in Doctor Who magazine issues 251 to 255, and brings back a couple of familiar faces you'd have seen previously. This was written by Alan Barnes and is collected in the Complete 8th Doctor Comic Strips, Volume 1. The story takes place straight after The Keep, and carries on the story of the sentient sun that was engineered by Crivello. I'll link that review in the description, just so you guys can kind of follow that and have that. When the Doctor arrives on the satellite Icarus Falling, he soon realises he's in the Crab Nebula, on one of the orbiting planets of the Sun that was created in the previous story. He initially senses a trap, as what are the chances of landing there straight after his previous adventure? The Doctor speaks to an old man on board, and finds the remnants of the liquid Crivello used in the Keep. Soon after the Doctor takes a sample of this liquid, a massive battle cruiser pulls up and starts drilling into the satellite, and a certain familiar face is behind the attack. The Doctor then gets taken aboard the Dalek battleship and sees Marquez from the previous story, and he's in fact working for the Daleks. Marquez goes on to explain that the Daleks had found another and equally horrible version of themselves from a parallel universe that came through a spatial rift. This was proof to the Daleks that travelling between universes was possible, and since discovered that they needed a specifically engineered black hole in order to do so. They found Crivello experimenting with a sentient sun on Earth, and built Marquez to interfere with the project so they could sabotage it and put in the programming for their customised black hole. They then needed to extract the part of the sun that the Doctor fused with in the Keep to help them with their end goal. If the Daleks' plan were to succeed, they would be able to travel to alternative universes to continue their campaign of destruction across the multiverse. Alongside this, a species called the Threshold were employed by the Time Lords to stop this plan from going ahead. The Threshold are a species that like to make deals with higher life forms in the universe and whose end goals are unknown at this point. They can be assassins, thieves, architects, anything you want them to be as long as you pay them a suitable price. In this case, the Time Lords offered them knowledge. They have no morals and are very dangerous foes of the Doctor, appearing in Ground Zero and leading to the death of Ace. After the Daleks extract what they need from the Doctor, the Threshold coax the unknowing Doctor to sacrifice his life to destroy the Daleks, but the Doctor suspects the trap and doesn't bite. The Daleks then activate the black hole portal, and a ton of alternative universe Daleks come flooding out and start fighting the Daleks. Izzy then pulls out that sample the Doctor took earlier, which turns a now black hole supernova, destroying the portal, Daleks, and alternative universe Daleks. The Doctor and Izzy then escape through the TARDIS, which has been transported mysteriously close to them. This story was really captivating. The Daleks were written ruthlessly and drawn perfectly. Just look at how good some of these illustrations are. I would actually love to get some of these on a poster, they're so good. The plot was complex, but it explained itself in a very paced and understandable way, whilst also moving the characters through the plot effectively, and it never felt like too much was being explained in one go. It's such a shame that its prequel, The Keep, didn't have the pacing this story does, because it really shows when reading them side by side. Izzy really shone in this one, genuinely making me laugh out loud when she first saw some guards at the start of the story. It was really nice to see more of Izzy's character developed in this story, and I think she's a great pair with the 8th Doctor, her being an almost childlike yet fun character so far, but can really hold her own in sticky situations, and the 8th Doctor being this kind of charismatic bundle of deep thinking and charm. This comic introduces Dalek wasps, which are actually really freaky and made me cringe, in a good way, when they attacked innocent people and spread to other hosts. I'm always skeptical when writers bring in new variations of the Daleks, John Peel, but this seems to be like the kind of sick and twisted thing the Daleks would come up with, and they work really well in the comic format. The design of the alternative Daleks was really gnarly and twisted, and me being a horror fan, I absolutely loved it. However, I wasn't a massive fan of the Daleks' motives in this story. I don't know, I guess it just seemed really far-fetched that the Daleks' plan was to conquer an infinite amount of universes when they haven't even properly been able to conquer this one yet. I can already see from this comic that this line is getting a little bit lore-heavy, which, let's face it, is what a lot of comics do, but doesn't detract from the story as long as you've read The Keep, and maybe even Ground Zero, although a summary online will suffice. I like there being these complex, interweaving plots, and let's face it, Doctor Who is a perfect opportunity to tell these sorts of stories. The story is concluded very nicely and has wrapped everything up, just leaving a few little mysteries for future plots. Overall, I'm a fan of this one. The Daleks were great, it had a lot of twists and turns in it, and it's definitely worth your time if you're an 8th Doctor fan or just simply a fan of the Daleks. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Whilst not perfect in every way, it is a great story and definitely something you want on your shelf. Okay, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this review. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, as I really like this one and I just want to know what you guys thought of it. Thanks again for all your support, and I hope you'll have a fantastic day. Thank you very much, guys.